If you're just joining, you are welcome. Let's wait for our other members to join in, guys, so we can get started. Joining, 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 joining. Let's go. Joining, let's go. Joining, let's go. Let's go. If you are just joining, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. So we usually wait for our members. We give them 3 to 4 minutes to join in before we can get started. If this is your first time, you are welcome. You are welcome. You're highly welcome. If you're joining from Facebook, thank you. Thank you. You are welcome. If you saw my post on Facebook and you decided to come and check it out, you're welcome. So this is 3 minutes. Let's give them 1 more minute, 1 more minute, 1 more minute, wherever you are joining. So if you have your makeup tools, your makeup products, if you have these things, get them ready, get them ready, get them ready. If you have your eye pencil, your concealer, get them ready. If you have your brushes for concealing your eyebrows, get them ready so that you do as I do, right? Do as I do. Do as I do is going to 4 minutes. Okay, so it's 4 minutes already. Should we give them a little more time to join in? Or should we get started? Should we get started? Okay, so hi everyone, you're welcome to this live section on YouTube. This is eyebrow class for beginners. If you are a beginner and you are still struggling with drawing your brows, please and please, this is strictly for beginners. If you know you are a professional, here is not for you. Okay, when teaching a professional, there are guidelines we follow, right? You call it advanced classes. Okay, if you're teaching a toddler, there are guidelines you follow to teach a toddler. And if you're teaching someone who is a teenager, there are also guidelines. Okay, the method which you use for teaching a toddler is not the same method you use for teaching a teenager, right? So if you know you are a professional here on this live, you can just support by dropping some comments that are supportive. Please do not come here to bully anyone, to drop some comments that are not acceptable, right? Okay, so my name is Oma, and I'm a makeup artist and also a makeup tutor, right? Okay, so I am here basically for beginners and just basically for eyebrows. Okay, I'm not doing everything on makeup, just for eyebrows. All right. Okay, so and I am here on YouTube. I'll be going live by this time every day except on Sundays. So I am here every day by this time except on Sundays. Okay, so these are the things we'll be needing for this. These are the things we'll be needing for this. This is called a brow gel or a brow pomade. Brow gel or brow pomade, whichever one. This is the black shade and this is the brown shade. So I usually mix the both of them to get my perfect shade. Although you can say there is no perfect shade because your shade might not be my shade. What you like might not be what I like. I might like something that is very darker and you might like something that is lighter. I might also like something that is lighter and she might like something that is way darker. So that's why these two usually go hand in hand. Hi, Lisa, Lisa, how are you? Okay, so as I was saying, this is actually good because it's gonna the mixing gonna give you your perfect shade or the shade that matches your vibe, right? Okay, so in the absence of these, you can actually use your eye pencil, okay, in black shade, in brown shade, in dark or light shade, whichever one. I am not saying strictly you must use this, no, but for me I usually find it easy using this because excuse me, I tend to be in control. This is gel, right? This is gel. When drawing my brows, I always find it very easy, excuse me, using this, okay? And when you are using this, you need a brow brush. This is called a brow brush. A pen, a pen, a pen, a petin. Hi, how are you? So this is called a brow brush. This is called a brow brush. So you need this. You need this. It is very tiny. It is very tiny and flat. Do you know why you should make it tiny? The tinier it is, the better for you, because when it's tiny, it will help you get that tiny line. Okay, you don't need something that is too broad or too thick. Okay, so you have to make it as tiny as possible and as flat as possible, so it will be easy for you to use. All right, this goes in hand with this. Okay, and so if you are using this is your eye pencil. Do not mind the shade. This is a black shade. If you have the brown shade, go ahead and use it. So if you are using this, you do not need any brush. You don't need any brush. If you are using this, you don't need any brush. This is called a brow brush. You don't need any brow brush. All you need to do is just make sure it is tiny, all right, because I don't normally use it, so I don't bother making it tiny or not. So but make sure if you are using this, make sure it's tiny and slim, so it's gonna give you a perfect work. Okay, all right, so that being said, after drawing your brows, you'll be needing your concealer. This is my concealer. I have two kinds of concealer, or you would say there are two kinds of concealer. There is the liquid concealer and there is the cream concealer. Okay, for beginner, as a beginner, I would advise you go for the creamy concealer, because the liquid concealer tend to be so runny, tend to be so lightweight and runny. Most times it's very difficult for beginners to use. Okay, most times when they try to blend, when they try to conceal the brows, it tends to be so runny and scatter, right? And when they are blending, it doesn't give a very smooth finish, right? Okay, so but for the creamy concealer, it's a little bit thick. The consistency is a little bit thick, and then it's very easy to use. If you are using it to conceal your eyebrows, you are in good in good control. Okay, you are in control. Where you stop, it's where it will stop. As you blend, it gives a smooth blend and a smooth finish, right? Okay, so you would also be needing your spoolie. This is called spoolie. This is called spoolie. Before drawing your brows and after drawing your brows also. Okay, as we proceed, you'll see the uses where I'll be using them. All right, that being said, every other thing we'll get to see in the video. All right, so at this point we'll get started. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mix these two together. So this is the black shade of my brow pomade. You see, it's almost going to finish because it's my favorite. I love to use this other than the eye pencil. Someone was asking the brand. The brand is Million Pauline, though I don't usually like to promote brand, but I can tell you for your own good, there are other better, good, nicer brow pomade. Okay, all you need is just, you can Google them. You can just, if you are in need of any good product, other than asking content creators or makeup artists that might not even tell you the real thing, you can just go online, go to Google. Google will give you details of nice products. If you're just joining, you are welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm basically mixing them together, mixing together to get a perfect consistency, perfect shade, a perfect blend. Okay, so at this point let me show you the difference. This is the black one. You see there is a difference with this to this, right? Let me also show you. This is the brown one. There is also a slight difference. If I should use this will be so light on me, and I wouldn't like something that is very light. If I should also use this is gonna be so dark on me, and that I wouldn't like, right? So I'll go ahead and mix to get my perfect shade. Excuse me. So at this point, we are done mixing. So we'll go ahead and the first thing you need is get a spoolie. Go ahead and brush out your eyebrows. Brush it out. Brush it out. Do you know why we brush out our eyebrows? To give it a fine finish, a smooth and fine look, and also to get them in shape. When they are not in shape, they will be very difficult for you to draw. So start picking up some good amount of the brow pomade, and then this is how we get to know where to start our eyebrows. This way, this way, and this way. Okay, so for this place we have to measure from here to here. Measure from here. I believe everyone has this part on their nose, right? So when you place this here, it's either your eye pencil or your brow brush. Place it here, stretch it to this point. Place it here, stretch it to this point, to this outer corner of your eyelid, and wherever it stretches out to, that's where you should make a dot or an arc or a line. So let's try it here, somewhere here, right? And then how do we get our midpoint? Place it here at this corner of your nose, stretch it towards the midpoint of your eyelid. Wherever it stretches out to, that's where you should make a dot. So let's try it this way. Okay, I hope we can see the dots. Excuse me. Okay, so how do we get our outer point? This way, place it here, not here. Place it here, stretch it to this outer part of your eyelid, this outer corner, this way. Wherever it stretches out to, that's where you should make your dot. So this way. Okay, right, right. Hi, Leslie. Hi, how are you? Okay, so we'll do the same thing, the upper side. The upper side. So there's no point measuring. We can just follow these dots. Take it up. Okay, follow this one. And take it up. And that's all, okay? So the next thing is to start joining them together with lines. This is basically um, setting you up, giving you some guidelines. These dots are basically getting the brow structured, okay? So you know where to just, when you want to draw, you draw it from here to here and here to here. It's very easy. But if you don't have these dots, it's gonna be very easy, right? It's gonna be very difficult, right? Okay, so at this point, let's go from here You can start from here, you can start from here. I love to start from here. Okay. So I need to flatten my brush. It's looking thicker. Okay, so then okay, so we'll do the same thing, the upper side. Okay. So basically, I'm just trying to get some adjustments done. If you're at this point, and you notice, you realize that there are places that are not perfect, there are places you need to add up, then you go ahead and do some adjustments. So at this point, I feel I need to add up a little bit here and here, and then this part. Stretch it out a little bit, out a little bit, out a little bit. The Nancy. Oh, thank you, thank you. So I'm basically doing some adjustment to get it in the right and perfect shape. Okay. So at this point, if you realize here came down a bit and there is nothing you can do to it right now, so you have to just hold on. When it's time for concealing, that is when you will perfect this place. Okay. Yeah, most times drawing your brows, you got to make some little mistakes. Do not panic, you can fix them. Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fill in, fill in, gently fill in. Charlie Bog, hi, how are you? Where are you watching from? Okay, I'm basically filling in the brows gently. I'm not adding so much pressure. Charlie Bob, you're watching from Chicago. Oh, that's amazing. Thanks for joining. How is Chicago? How is everyone in Chicago? So go ahead and fill in. If you realize, I am filling in following the strokes of my brows, right? Our brows naturally went this way, so that's how you fill in. You don't fill in this way, you don't do it this way. Aside this part, you do it this way. But when you get to this part, you do it this way. You fill in following the strokes, right? Okay, basically, there is no perfect standard way, perfect standard size of an eyebrow, right? You might like something that is way bigger. I might like something that is way slimmer, or something that is just normal, something that is in between. Okay, if you love something that is fat, some people do appreciate eyebrows that are very fat, very big, right? Okay, if that's your vibe, go ahead. I'm not telling you that your eyebrows must be the same size with mine, right? No, it mustn't be the same size. But I always tell you that when you're drawing your eyebrows, once you're done drawing this side, or you drew this side first, make sure the next one you're gonna draw should be the same size with the one you already drew, the same size and the same length. But I'm not saying that your eyebrows, your size must be the same size with mine. No, go for what suits your brow, your vibe. Okay, I like your face. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, so we are still filling in. Excuse me. Okay, so at this point, we are done drawing the brows, following this tip, following these tricks, right? So when you're done drawing your brows, you will need this. I told you you will need this at the beginning and when you're done drawing. So you will need this to make sure this area is as natural as possible. So you brush it out, and the inner corner too, you brush it out. Whatever you're doing to your eyebrows, you have to be gentle. Do not rush. So brush it out, brush it out. So let's add some depth to this part. To this part. Okay. And then The next step is concealing your eyebrows. The norms say this is very interesting. Yeah, thank you, Bright Joshua. Hi, good morning. Good morning, Bright Joshua. How are you doing? Okay, so this is my concealer, and because I feel this concealer is way too brighter than I am, I'll go ahead and mix it together with my foundation. This is my foundation, so I'll scoop out just little amount, and then I'll go ahead and mix it with my concealer just to tone it down a little bit. So this is it. This was the original color of the concealer. This is my foundation, and this is the color I have right now. I'm trying to mix to get the perfect consistency and shade. Okay, here it is. Okay, now using my concealer brush. This is my concealer brush. I showed you already before. For those who were not here, let me show you again. This is my concealer brush. The flatter it is, the perfect job it will do. Alright, the perfect it is, it's gonna do a perfect job. Okay, so the flatter it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some amount. I'm not packing so much, please, please. I always tell you as a beginner, do not pack so much product. All right, so we start from this corner. You do it bit by bit, right? I'm not going from here all the way through. Okay, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and blend out these harsh lines. Hold on. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and blend out these harsh lines. But before you start blending out this harshness, go ahead and clean out the excess product on your brush, the excess concealer, and then we'll start blending from this corner. Do it gently, do not rush, because when you rush you might end up spoiling your beautiful work, right? Okay, gently, gently, do not rush. Okay, if you notice when blending, I didn't have difficulty, right? Because I took little amount of the product, which is the concealer, and I mixed the color, the shade of the concealer with my foundation, right, to tone it down a little bit. Okay, so we'll go to the upper side. Which one? What did I use? You mean the concealer? Shayama, you mean, excuse me, this is what I use. This is my concealer. This is what I'm using right now, okay? Okay. When concealing your brows, excuse me. Oh my God. When concealing your brows, make sure you're not rushing. Make sure you're not in a haste. Do it gently, right? Okay. Wow, eye makeup super. Thank you, Shayama. Shayama, where are you watching from? Okay. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and blend out all these harshness. We'll have to blend it out, this harshness. The first thing we need to do. Okay, so okay, so we'll start blending out from this. Mm, mm. Okay, so go ahead and keep blending out. If you realize I'm not finding it difficult to blend, right? And as I am blending, it's already disappearing into my skin. Can you see? It's sinking into my skin because I am not using so much product and because my concealer is not too white, right? Okay, but if you like and you love a concealer that is lighter, it's okay, that's okay if you can actually blend it. But as a beginner, I will advise you go for something that's is closer to the shade of your skin or the shade of your foundation. Okay, all right. Okay, so here it is. I think is a little bit. Let's see if we can trim it a little bit. Okay. So this is how you shorten the length of your eyebrows. All right. So get the perfect length for you. So I realized that it was way too longer, and then I had to shorten it, and I think now it is perfect for me. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, this is it. Okay, so we'll do the same thing this other eye. For those who are just joining, and for those who would tell me that they are not able to do it here, they are just able to do it on one eye. So I'm going to be showing you. It's just the same tricks. Okay, so you do it here, place it here, stretch it to this angle, and make your arc. Let's do it, place it here, and straight, yeah. You make a dot. Okay. Place it here, stretch it to this part of your eyelid, to the mid part of your eyelid, and wherever it stretches out to, you make an arc. Okay. Wilson Shilling. How are you? Hi, how are you? Okay, so how the outer part, place it here, stretch it to this point, and then you make an arc this way. Okay, so just basically follow this one and then make your upper arc. This one, the upper arc, and then here we go. So for this other side, we started joining from here. Let's try joining from the inner corner. We started joining from the outer corner over here, and then over here, let's try joining from the inner corner. So basically, we're gonna do this. Okay, we'll do the same thing the upper side from here. Okay, so at this point, go ahead and do some adjustments. Thank you, Winsome. Winsome, where are you watching from? All right. Like I told you yesterday, when you're drawing your brows, especially when you're done drawing the first one, so the second one, you have to go back and forth, keep checking to make sure they are the same because you are a human being, all right? You are prone to make mistakes. So, for you to avoid making mistakes, for you to avoid, okay, so sorry about that, my network is shaky. So, for you an eyebrow that is slimmer, shorter, fatter, bigger than the other one. So you keep going back and forth. When you draw, you check, you measure, you be like, I hope they are the same. I hope they are giving the same shape and result. So now I feel I need to take this one a little bit upper here. All right, so at this point, we'll go ahead and start filling in. So this is how you fill in. You follow the line, strokes of your hair, and fill in. Go back little and check if they are the same. There is something that happened here. We have to fix it while concealing, okay? To make sure they are the same, right? Okay. Okay, so at this point, we are done drawing the brows. We'll go ahead and start concealing. So at this point, my hand shifted. So let's fix it up here. Okay, so we'll have to go ahead and blend out. Clean out the excess product on your brush and then start blending out. So conceal the upper part. Okay. Okay. This is how you make sure they are the same, right? Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right, so then we'll go ahead and blend out the harshness. I hope they are really same because I love my brows to be same. I love them to be same. Right? Okay. We have to make them look same as much as possible, right? Okay, so at this point, let's go ahead and I feel I need to add something here. Why? Dinamzi, thank you. Okay, perfect now. So let's go ahead and blend out. So amazing. Thank you. All right, so this is it. Okay, so at this point we are done drawing, we are done concealing. So the next step is step I don't love to miss. Okay, the next step is using our powder. Use your powder to take out all this oily effect, this greasy effect over here. We don't need it. We don't need it. So I'm basically using the shade of my powder, my perfect shade. That's what you need to take out every harshness here. Okay. So the same thing here. Like I said, I always say it, the size, the shape of your eyebrows doesn't necessarily need to be the same with mine, right? Everyone has their unique shape. The shape of your eyebrows naturally, now I'm talking about the natural eyebrow before you start drawing. The shape is different from mine, right? Yours is different from mine. And then you got to give it another shape when carving. For those of us who carves our brows, some people do not carve their brows, right? Okay, for those of you who carves your brows, when you carve it, it's either you take it out from the original shape, or you just enhance the original shape, not taking it out outrightly, but now you go ahead and enhance it, right? Okay, so that automatically entails that the shape of your eyebrows, the natural shape of your eyebrows, it's not the same with mine. So when you're drawing your eyebrows, make sure you draw what matches your vibe. Yeah, draw what matches your vibe. The goal is just to get a perfect brow, a brow that is well drawn, whether the arc goes more up, whether the arc is down, whether the brow is slim, whether the brow is fat. That's not the goal. The goal is get a perfect eyebrow, however the shape is, but make sure as much as possible to get a very nice shape. Because we don't have a standard shape doesn't mean you should draw nonsense, right? It doesn't mean you should go and draw something that is not suitable for people to look, right? Some people, they will draw something that will, like, when someone just at first glance, and the person will be like, I want to turn again. What did I just see? Oh my god, her brows are not looking same. Oh my god, her brows are not looking good. You know, in as much as you want to draw something that you like, make sure they are good, make sure they are perfect, they are clean. Okay, all right, with this tip, with this trick, I hope, right, I hope Claribel, Claribel Rosa, hi Claribel, how are you? Claribel, you are late to the class, we are done already. Sorry, you are late. Join in tomorrow, okay? Join in on time so that you'll be able to know what we did and you'll be able to learn, okay? All right, so I was saying you need to try as much as possible to draw something that is very nice, and most especially blending. I won't stop talking about blending each day I will talk about blending. You need to learn how to blend. You need to learn how to pick up little product as a beginner. Please stop taking so much product on your brushes. That's why the results thank you, that's why the results of your work are not perfect. And that is just the line between you and a professional. Professionals, they do great job when they are blending, and that's why they end up getting a perfect result. And you'll be like, what product is she using? Oh my god, I'm using the same product with this lady, and why is mine not coming up to be so beautiful? Hers is more beautiful because you aren't blending properly, you ain't blending very well, and you're taking so much product. That is why now I am telling you, that is why your work is not good. Okay, most celebrities, they will go and pick up cheapest product in the market, and after using it on a client or on someone, it tends to be good. It's still good. The only repercussion is that most time they tend to cause some rashes and skin reaction to the people. Okay, but then if they are able to blend properly, it's gonna give a finish, a very beautiful finish, a very perfect finish. Okay, so make sure you learn how to blend. That is just the secret. Pick up little amount of product, blend properly, apply properly. Okay, and then you will get there. All right, do not worry, do not stress yourself, you will get there. Just be on my life. And I am just here to talk about, to teach. Just browse. I am not here to do other things. Just browse. If you come tomorrow, you'll still meet me here talking about browse. If you come next month, you'll still meet me here talking about browse. So if you did learn anything today, and something, but if you are not able to learn anything today, do not worry, come back here tomorrow. You're gonna pick something, at least one thing. If I'm not able to teach you everything, if you're not able to learn everything, and maybe some steps you don't like, some steps, but there are some you will like, right? You must pick one thing that might be beneficial, that might help you in your growth journey, right? Okay, so here comes the end of this live. Do what to share and follow me on my other platform. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on TikTok, um, I am on YouTube. So kindly follow up, and then I believe you're gonna learn something with time, right? Okay, bye. See you guys tomorrow.